In the video game industry, bankruptcies, restructures, and closures are nothing new amongst up-and-coming development studios. Sometimes we see studios on the top of their game from the outside still end up closed because they're rotting to the core on the inside. There honestly isn't a more interesting case than that of Imageepoch, a Japanese video game studio that was trying to make a name for itself in the world of JRPGs. Imageepoch was known for some pretty good series such as 7th Dragon, Luminous, Fate Extra, and Stella Glow. They wanted to be able to take on the likes of Square Enix, Namco Bandai, Falcom, and Atlus to become one of the JRPG giants in the industry. Sadly, this dream never came to fruition. Between a mixture of poor financial decisions and only a handful of good games to their name, Imageepoch went bankrupt in 2015, and their CEO has been missing in action ever since. So we have to ask, what in the world happened to Imageepoch? Imageepoch was founded by the young video game developer Ryohei Mikage in 2005. From here, Imageepoch would find itself contract work with many big-name publishers, such as Marvelous, Capcom, and Sega. He was also known for being able to scout out big-name talent to his studio to help work on games, despite being a very small company. This early success allowed them to grow and make quite the name for themselves as an up-and-coming developer. However, it looked like this initial success would soon get to Ryohei Mikage's head, as after this initial spark, he decided to go on a campaign that would either bring Imageepoch into the forefront of the JRPG industry, or condemn them into obscurity. It is widely accepted that the JRPG genre is now going through a bit of a renaissance of quality games, with the likes of Persona 5, Ni no Kuni 2, Trails of Cold Steel, the resurgence of Yakuza, Dragon Quest XI, Nier Automata, and many more promising JRPGs coming down the pipeline. But at a time, it seemed like the JRPG genre was kinda dead. Sure, we had Atlus and Falcom still pumping out quality games, but at the time of 2010 to 2011, the genre felt like it hit a bit of a rough patch. This is where Ryohei Mikage came in and wanted to make a name for his company as the ones who were able to repopularize the genre globally. Unfortunately, this campaign fell flat, to put it gently. Up until this point, Imageepoch had been developing games exclusively for the Nintendo DS to varying degrees of success. But with their new campaign, they decided to put all of their eggs in one basket, that was the PlayStation Portable. This led to the development of two new 7th Dragon games on the PSP. While the 7th Dragon series is easily their most critically acclaimed series in Japan, with some arguing them to be two of the best JRPGs in the PSP, none of the games ever saw an international release. While most of their other PSP JRPGs achieved some levels of success, they would not reach the same level as 7th Dragon, digging them even deeper into a hole. In 2012, Imageepoch had announced that they would be partnering with Nippon Ichi Software and Bandai Namco to develop games that would revolutionize the JRPG genre. Working with Namco Bandai, Imageepoch would create the JRPG known as Time and Eternity, and with NIS, they worked to bring Criminal Girls 2 to an international audience. However, with these releases, Imageepoch's luck would continue to run sour. Time and Eternity ended up being an abysmal failure for both Bandai Namco and Imageepoch. While the game did receive praise for its art style and unique take on the genre, it was universally panned in Japan and in the West. Thankfully, Bandai Namco were the ones who more than likely covered the game's expenses, so this wasn't a huge loss for Imageepoch. But Criminal Girls 2 was a different story. Criminal Girls 2 would also go on to be censored by NIS, leading to a lot of fans of the series to boycott the game and only purchase it pre-owned, hurting Imageepoch's bottom line tremendously. While the interview seems to have been lost, Ryo Mikage supposedly blamed the PlayStation Vita for his company's woes and swore off any future support for the handheld system. After the disaster that was Criminal Girls 2 and Time and Eternity, Imageepoch decided to shift their focus and once again put all of their eggs in one basket with the Nintendo 3DS. Seeing the success that Marvelous had with the Senran Kagura series on the Nintendo 3DS without having to censor their game, Imageepoch decided to try and make their own game that would potentially cash in on the bandwagon with their idle sim game Sony Pro and a port of Alisoft's, who are best known for working on the long erotic series Rants, Toshin Toshi Girl's Gift. Needless to say, both of these ventures ended with less than optimal results. Imageepoch even managed to get contract work with Nintendo on Yoshi's New Island, being a co-developer of the game. It is speculated that Ryo Mikage had hoped their work on the game would lead them to work on bigger Nintendo IPs as a contractor, one of which they had hoped to work on was to make a brand new Fire Emblem game. Sadly, it seems like nothing ever came of that deal, and no partnership was ever formed between Nintendo and Imageepoch. With money running low, Imageepoch only had one game left up their sleeves, the SRPG that was known as Stella Glow. Stella Glow was to serve as an anniversary project for Imageepoch to celebrate 10 years in business. Sadly, Stella Glow would also become their swan song. In April, Idea Factory's Yoshitaro Sato announced that he was unable to privately get a hold of Ryo Mikage. And so, the once promising CEO of Imageepoch had officially gone missing. A few weeks later, Imageepoch had filed for bankruptcy and sold off many of its IPs, most notably 7th Dragon and Stella Glow to Sega, and Criminal Girls to Nipponichi Software. So, what had happened to cause all of this? Well, it's believed that in order to bankroll a lot of their projects, Imageepoch took out several in big loans dating all the way back to 2010. It was likely that their creditors finally called them on their debts, and this led to their closure. It is unknown what became of Ryo Mikage after his disappearance. Some theories believe that some of their debt was to the Yakuza and was either killed or hiding for his life. However, the more likely scenario is that he stepped away from the industry after his company's failure. In Japan, it is much more common for CEOs to go up and missing as their company goes under. As of recording this video, we still do not know what became of Ryo Mikage. Idea Factory has made numerous attempts to try and reach out to him in hopes of finding him safe, including hiding a secret message in one of their announcement videos telling him to contact them. I have reached out to Atlas and Sega USA to see if they could comment on anything of the studio's closure, but they declined to comment on the matter. As the years go on and the case gets colder, we may never know what actually happened to him, or the extent of Imageepoch's perils. Throughout Imageepoch's history, they had a checkered past of quality game titles released. Ironically, their biggest potential hits never saw the light outside of Japan until after their bankruptcy. 7th Dragon 3 code VFD was the first 7th Dragon game to make its way overseas and saw a nice amount of success. Stella Glow received critical acclaim as well and is often praised as one of the best games on the 3DS. While I'm not saying that if Imageepoch localized the first 3 7th Dragon games they'd still be around today, I am saying if they had focused their ability on hiring big name talent and just going all in on the games they were good at making, Imageepoch could have found success and gained its own following. Unfortunately, we'll never know, and the story of Imageepoch acts as more as a cautionary tale of what happens when you try to do too much at once and putting all of your eggs in one basket, only for it to all come crashing down. And there you have it. It's a sad story as well because 7th Dragon 3 code VFD and Stella Glow are some of my favorite games ever made. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, hey, be sure to subscribe for more reviews, commentaries, let's plays, and more, and also be sure to ring the bell to know when I upload next. And as always everyone, thanks for watching.